Cheryl, or no, Andy. Andy would go next. Andy, you're next up.
Okay, so I'm Andy. I have a textile printing company in Brussels, in Belgium. And what I would like to improve is a bit more connections in Europe. So at this moment, we are just working in Belgium and we would like to expand it in Europe.
Awesome. Wonderful. Now, Cheryl, I think you're next.
Good morning. I come to you from Northern California, and I work with a company called Legal Shield Business Solutions. I help business owners and entrepreneurs getting access to resources to be able to help empower them to make better decisions, especially from a legal standpoint. And so when you're empowered with great information, you make better decisions. And what I'm working on doing right now is adding more people to my team. So team building, just reaching out to people at various different levels, and yeah, just trying to help make a difference by empowering more people to make a difference.
Awesome. Wonderful. Then I think LMNO, so Nuvang, you go next.
Hi. Yes, my name's Nuvang. I'm from Minnesota. I go by Nu. I'm actually in Minneapolis. I work for Lifetime Fitness. I'm in information technology in the operations team. And then I'm also a DJ and interested in business, and specifically performance science and acceleration.
Ooh.
And I love art.
I can see that. Did you design that?
No, I just found it on the internet because I had a lame picture. It's supposed to be like a Christmas tree. I love Christmas.
Cool. I love it. That's awesome. And how do you say it? I'm so sorry. Is Poaku?
Yeah, it's Poaku Sailesh.
Do you want to share?
Yeah. Hello and welcome to all the awesome people here. Thanks to Deepak Verma sir, who has just introduced me to this forum. I'm from India. Basically, I'm a safety manager actually. Because I do a lot of safety stuff offline, and recently 3 months back I've just lost my job, so I've just come down to the online coaching now. So I want to become the online trainer for all the safety awareness, which I just wanted to do, which I used to do earlier. I just wanted to do right in online. So thanks to Deepak Verma sir again, who has just guided me into this.
Awesome. Wonderful. Great to have you. Raja, would you like to introduce yourself? You're on mute.
Hey, Raja, you're muted.
Okay, am I audible?
There you are.
Yep.
Okay, so welcome everybody in this group, and I want to say thank you so much to Deepak sir, who have given me this platform to in front of you guys. And my name is Rajan. Basically, I belong to India and I reside in Chhattisgarh. And I'm working in the last 8 to 9 years in the marketing and sales field in the steel sector as a manager. I'm looking at half of state as a marketing and sales. So I'm looking forward to myself to improve my sales and marketing skills. So that's why we have connected with the Deepak sir and get a platform of this. Thank you.
Wonderful. And Bhakti, you're just in time. We're just introducing yourselves, your name, your company, or what you do, where you're located, and one thing you're working on right now to improve your business or your life, whichever.
Okay. I'm Bhakti. I'm an Ashaya monk with a bright path, path of joy. And one thing I've learned is to rely on experts in my life. And Deepak and Lois are very strong experts as far as growing sales. And what's happened since I've been involved here is I had a very nice meditation group locally here in Minneapolis. And what's happened is expanded into different countries as well as other states, just using a very straightforward way of doing things in this new environment. And my focus is to continue to expand and also offer service to others.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing. We really appreciate that. And It's nice that we have a smaller group today. Last week we had like 30, so we wanted to give you that opportunity to kind of network, because that's part of our vision. If anyone becomes a member of our group, we're going to start doing speed networking and global networking on a much larger scale as we keep moving forward. So Deepak, I'll let you take it away.
So let me introduce Louis. She is an amazing sales coach and a trainer, a 12-week trainer. And she's been running coaching sessions for various individuals and organizations across the globe in the last many years. She's a BNI director based in California. She's recently moved from Minnesota to California very successfully in the last few months ago. And wonderful wife, mother of 2 children, and a happy woman. That's you, Louis. I think the last was just enough, right? A happy woman.
Yes, thank you. You're so kind. I appreciate it. Deepak is my amazing partner in this amazing new program that we created. And we actually started this about 6 months ago, give or take. And we had no idea how relevant it was going to become because of this pandemic. So I think it's just amazing how when you put things in motion, the universe hands you this opportunity to help serve other people. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and make sure you take notes. Now here's my goal. I always like to manage expectations. I really respect your time. My goal is to pour into you for the next 30 to 40 minutes. I could probably actually do a whole hour, but I want to, kind of just keep it as simple as possible, leave you wanting more. And if you have any questions, or Deepak. Oops, I hope I wasn't muted. Sorry about that. Am I muted?
Oh no, we can hear you better.
You're good now.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. So here's our logo. This is VGC, stands for Virtual Global Coaching, like I already shared. Deepak shared a lot of my positives and the things that are happening, in my life that have been very, very good. However, I always like to say it was my failures, my learning lessons that taught me the most, and that's what I like about Deepak as well. He's very humble. He had his own life experiences that he shared with us last week. And for me, I was very successful in sales. I know some of you guys are either just getting into sales or you've been in sales a long time, and now you're learning a new version, right, of sales, this world called virtual selling. Well, guess what? I actually had deja vu with this pandemic, because exactly 13 years ago in 2007, I was facing a very similar predicament as a lot of you are right now. And it was actually for me much more painful, because I went from making multiple 6 figures, about $300,000 a year between my mortgage company, my real estate sales, and I had a team that I was coaching, leading, training, and pouring into, that I recruited for real estate purposes. And then I had investments, because everyone at that time was investing. I remember the bubble hadn't burst yet. I had to have millionaires from California come in. I was selling real estate in Phoenix at the time. They would take, 2 or 3 million and buy like 5, 6, 7 properties in one weekend. And that was normal. It was great. And then when the recession happened, it happened to me very fast, very, very much I called it like a, shovel to the head, really. It just knocked me out, because I lost everything. All my companies went under. I had foreclosures, bankruptcy, and I even had my car repossessed the day before my 30th birthday. And my expectation was I was going to be a millionaire, top of the world by 30. And I was down here in my mind, my perception of where I was at. And it was a real huge gift, because it actually forced me to learn how to sell virtually. I had never done that before. I was always face-to-face, belly-to-belly, referral, shaking hands, kissing babies, having lunches, coffees, dinners, always out in the world. And now I couldn't leave my house except with my bicycle, of course. And you didn't really want to go to a meeting after a bike ride. So I had to learn how to use things like this. Zoom wasn't around. All we had was Skype. And I actually did conference calls, and all of my coaching was done over the phone. So that's when Lois Kofi Enterprises was really born. And I was so grateful for that experience, because now I haven't skipped a beat. selling virtually has been my life. And so my hope is today to share with you the key nuggets of how I bounced back. And I will tell you, it took me about 4 or 5 years to learn everything and apply it that I'm going to share with you today. And my hope is that you can consider joining our community so it doesn't take you 4 or 5 years to rebound from this recession that we're heading into. It was mentors and coaches, and of course, a hard work ethic. I grew up on a farm, and my father was raised by a single dad, and he embodied that every day you go out and you work and you get it done and you stay committed no matter what life throws your way. So truth be told, and I should have updated this number, here in America, we have about 30 million unemployed, which is really almost Great Depression era numbers. We do know that we are heading into a 2, maybe even 3-year recession. So you're looking at 2021, 2022. So we're really wanting to be ahead of the curve here and teach you guys how to pivot and pivot like that. So you can get ready for a recession. A lot of these things on here are great, and it may or may not be possible for you to do all of these things now, but we can help you be aware to future-proof your business, just like I did back in the recession. And I love this movie. We've used a couple different, movie examples, and I realize, Hollywood isn't everything, but this movie is in my top 2 favorites of all time. If you've seen Shawshank Redemption, it's kind of the feeling that I hear a lot of people feel right now. I've heard a lot of people say, I can't believe this has happened to me. I feel like, the sky is falling. And if you've seen the movie, Tim Robbins plays Andy Dufresne, and he gets wrongly imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. And I remember kind of feeling that way when the recession happened, 2007. I was like, dude, what did I do to deserve this? That was my first thought. And it took me a while to reframe that thinking. But I had hope. I had encouragement, and so did Andy. And he was able to rely on hope to go through this 20-year journey. And he got out of prison on his own volition and hope. And we believe that hope is the best of things to help you grow through this experience we're going through right now, day after day. So again, 2 goals or outcomes today is to give you an amazing experience of coaching, and to, of course, invite you to join our VGC community for $25, and we'll explain that later. So one of the things that, Deepak and I, we take turns coaching. Last week he did the training. Today I'm doing the training. And he actually brought this concept to me, and it's from Japan. So it's an amazing Asian cultural thing that I had never heard of before, and it really gave me a lot of peace and understanding of kind of your reason for being, and like it says up there, but also like your purpose. Why are you here? I asked myself that when I lost everything before, and it was actually being in that silence, or that moment where I had nothing to do but reflect, helped me to get to what really delights me, what really is I would say my passion and the world's deepest hunger, and how I can feel that need. Because you can do, like it says, what you're good at, you can do what you love, you can do what the world needs and what you can be paid for. And in that center where you find that sweet spot, it's like you never have to work a day in your life. It's like my dad is a farmer. He never felt like he was working because he was in his ikigai. And our question is have you found that? Amidst all of this pandemic stuff and everything that's going on, have you found your sweet spot? Have you found your ikigai? And do you need any assistance or support to get that? I know for me, when I was going through the recession, I had to have mentors and coaches to help me clear away the clutter, clear away the fear. I had depression, I had anxiety. I know a lot of people who are going through that right now. The suicide rate has already increased. Pharmaceutical industry is doing very well. We'll just leave it at that. And we know that if you can find your Ikigai with support much sooner, much faster, that joy and your life fulfillment is so much sweeter. So part of what I did really, you know, to get to my Ikigai and to stay living and learning to thrive as opposed to simply survive is I had to find a way to build my mindset daily and set daily goals. I actually have right here my clipboard, and on it I have a document. I call it my daily compass and guide. And the first thing at the top of the page says, what am I committed to today based on my mission and my vision? And then I have my section on goals. And I've been using this document for 13 years, and it's like my roadmap, because when everything crumbled and fell, I could have just sat and watched TV all day. Thankfully, I didn't even own a TV at the time, because remember, I lost everything. So I couldn't watch the news, right? Facebook wasn't hardly even born, so I couldn't just watch news on Facebook. Right now, everybody gets their news on Facebook, which, how real is that? I don't know. But anyway, I was able to just sit in the silence of the morning. I still got up every day at the same time that I did before. If you came on early, I was a runner. I coached athletes every day at 5:30 in the morning, living in Phoenix, Arizona. And then I did that in California too, once I got my feet under me and starting over. I still got up at the same time every day to keep that habit and to nurture and fuel this. I got into meditation. I know Deepak's into meditation. We have Bhakti here, who's a meditation teacher. Amazing tools. But I also just kind of sat in the silence and I wrote down my goals for the day. And that gave me purpose. That gave me direction. Even if I just had one thing to do that day, I wanted to make sure I was clear, and I wanted to make sure that my thoughts were focused and positive. There's a saying by Louise Hay, thoughts are things and things can be changed. You know, our thoughts fuel our feelings fuel our actions. And if you're having thoughts that are sad, negative, fear-based, whatever, those can be changed and reprogrammed. I have a podcast. I'm interviewing a subconscious mind coach tomorrow, and she's taught me that 90% of our reality is created by our subconscious mind. And if you can't change those thoughts, you're going to stay exactly where you are. If I hadn't changed my thoughts when I was going through my journey of homelessness and, you know, losing everything, it's really not easy to go from making a boatload of money to having no money. It was very traumatic. So I had to reprogram. And to think is to create. So whatever you want to create, it's possible. My move to Southern California, we didn't just one day wake up and say, hey, we're going to move and pack up the kids and go across the country, right? We had a vision. We had goals that we wrote down every day and connected to that. And we had a 3-year plan. And guess what? We moved here with 2 months to spare on that 3-year plan. So I can teach you how to do that along with Deepak. So the other thing, and I just got off a mastermind. I do a mastermind group with a couple of friends just before getting onto this, and we were sharing our goals for the week, and we were making sure that our goals were SMART goals. You've probably heard this before. If not, if this is the first time, I'm so grateful that you're here, because this is critical. SMART goals is your roadmap, your direction, your guide, and your measuring stick. You can't build a house without measuring tape, right? You'd have a really crappy house. You wouldn't even live in that house. So you have to have a measuring tape for your goals. So the S stands for specific. And go ahead and make sure you're writing this down. S is specific. Specific is terrific. If you're not clear, and the opposite of specific is vague. You know, you got to make sure that it's very directional. Like, you know, for me, right now, truth be told, one of my personal goals is I want to drop 20 pounds in the next 12 weeks. I set a lot of goals are in my 12-week span, and then I have to reverse engineer what I'm doing daily and weekly to get to that end goal, right? So I said I want to drop 20 pounds. So that's very specific, right? It isn't just like, hey, I want to lose weight. or think of your own business goal. What do you want to accomplish in the next 12 weeks or at the end of 2020, whatever that is? It's got to be specific. And then M is the measurable piece. So I know for me, another example, and me and Deepak, we want to get to 100 members of this VGC by the end of 2020. So that's measurable, specific. The A is attainable. You want to make sure that it's not too pie in the sky. If you said you wanted to make 20 grand this month and you just started a new business, is that attainable? The R is realistic, which, to be honest with you, attainable, realistic, to me, probably about the same thing, but we always say, you know, you still want to have some kind of a stretch so that, and this is just my example, this may not be for you, if you don't have a bit of a stretch and it's too easy, you might quit, you might give up, you might sell yourself short. So stretch a little bit. And actually, I'm sorry, the R is risky. I apologize. Attainable and risky. I had a moment there. R is for risky. So you want it to be a little bit of a stretch goal or a risk for you. If it doesn't make you sweat a little bit, if it doesn't, like my thing is I get like little butterflies in my stomach, you know, then I know, okay, I got to really be in this to win this. I can't be, pardon the expression, I can't half-ass it. I got to go for it, right? I can't waste time. I got to be focused. And then the T is the timeline. So that's why I said, you know, what's the deadline? You know, we wanted to move here in 3 years. We did it. I remember my marathon training goals. I wanted to hit and qualify for Boston. I did that on my first marathon because I used these goals. And ever since then in my business, oftentimes, as long as I stayed accountable to a coach or somebody else and had SMART goals, anything was possible. So do you need help in setting SMART goals that are customized to you? That's the other thing that's a little bit dangerous. I remember whether it was coaching runners or even having a group coaching class. I've taught college courses. I've had a lot of groups. Deepak as well has done a lot of training all over the world. And you can't compare yourself to the guy or gal next to you. You got to be in your lane and know what's best for you. Comparison can cause the death of your business. So we like to share too, this mindset. Deepak shared this with us last week, and I think it's so important to remember. Part of that mindset, we're still on number 1 step is mindset, right? So really focusing on what can you control and what matters. You know, there's the problems that I can control, the problems that matter, and there's a lot, right? But if you can really just lean in on the most important things right now, that's what we want you to do, because otherwise you can get so overwhelmed by life and with everything that's going on right now that you can't see the forest for the trees. You can't move forward. And I know that from experience how important that is. So that's the subconscious habits, you know, that we also want you to have a raising your consciousness level too, of what may be holding you back. We want to help you eclipse that and move forward to a stronger tomorrow. Another thing that's really important always, however, right now, and this is step number 2, if you're kind of keeping track of things. First one was mindset. The next one is listen first when you're talking to prospects. When you're just talking to people in general, this is a human thing. This is important no matter what you're doing, personal and professional. Oftentimes, I will say, when I was in real estate, most of my clients were from my running club because we'd run together. We'd had lots of times to listen to each other and we developed a connection. You know, that's the most important thing when you're in sales and marketing. It's all the same thing. It's about relationships. And even if I know some of you are saying that you're learning to sell online to new people, right? We're going to talk a little bit about that next. It doesn't matter. It's still, people are people, no matter where, if you meet them in church, the bar, online. You want to be able to get them offline because you can't have authentic conversations over text message. You can't really listen over text, right? So get them offline as fast as you can, because I know that was one of the things Alice was talking about. And then you use this acronym to build trust and rapport. The first step in sales is generating a lead, making that connection, getting them on a call or on a Zoom, and using this script to build trust and rapport. Because no one's going to buy anything you're selling if they don't trust you, right? And you got to build that rapport so they know who you are. That makes you more believable, and they're ready to listen once you've listened to them first. So F stands for family. How is your family? You know, checking in, taking notes. Sorry about that. I'm going to turn that off. Taking notes on what they're sharing and saying. Always asking. Like I was taking notes when you guys were talking, so I can make sure I really hear and connect with what you're working on right now. And asking people about their family right now is big, because what if their wife or spouse or partner got laid off? What if their sales are down? What if you have something that could help their family, maybe your product or service? You know, those important things you want to listen for. O is occupation. You know, how has their work been impacted by this pandemic? Maybe it's great. Maybe it's not so great. And people really, really, when you listen and ask questions first instead of hit them over the head with your sales pitch, that's where they really know that you care about them, not so much about the deal or the sale or whatever the case may be. So once you've talked about their work life and how that's going, R is recreation. You know, like I shared with you at the beginning here, I'm so excited. I finally get to go to go to the beach with my kids. Haven't been able to do that in 2 months, right? People aren't traveling as much. You know, if someone's really down about that, maybe lift them up and say, hey, you know what? Let's create a vision board. Let's travel. Let's do some virtual travel together. Or maybe they can't go to the gym just yet. Maybe you have an online personal trainer you can recommend to them if they're open. You know, always want to ask people if they're open for recommendations. But just really connecting with what they love to do tells you a lot about that person. And then M, of course, is what is their mission? What is their message? It's also known as the Ford acronym. So D stands for dream. But I put form because I wanted to remind you that the goal first in life and in sales is forming the relationship. If you can master this one thing, even virtual selling, that's all I did. Back in the recession, I had lots of time on my hands. I had a goal of how many people I was going to call every day and have authentic, real form conversations, not just, hey, I'm a coach. Do you want to buy what I'm selling? Right? So you can connect online, but get them offline as fast as possible. When you're online, people can ghost you. When you're online, people can miss your message, because here's the other thing, guys. I don't know about you, but I'm getting more messages, more emails, more all of these notifications, because everybody's either home or they're working maybe more on reaching out. And I'm getting a lot of sales pitches, and I'm deleting those people because I don't have time for that. But if I find someone that I really want to talk to, I'll say, hey, can we get on a Zoom? Can we have a phone call? I'd love to connect with you eyeball to eyeball if possible, and form that relationship. So make a goal right now. How many people can you talk to a day that you can get closer to whatever your sales goals, whatever your business goals are? You know, not everyone and maybe is in sales on here, although I think if you have a business, you are a salesperson. So again, set that goal, write that down right now. How many can you touch a day? 5, 1, 2, make it measurable again, remember, and put that into your daily routine. This next one is something that I wasn't ready for, and maybe you weren't either. In the recession, I don't even know if I was on LinkedIn yet. Facebook hadn't happened yet. I think it just was born as I was going through that process. I did create, an account, a profile, but I wasn't really, quote unquote, meeting people on there yet. But I started learning how to record teleseminars, because again, Zoom wasn't around. But now, do you want to learn how to do a Zoom webinar. Deepak and I can teach you. Do you want to build a YouTube channel? I can teach you how to do that. Everyone is online or at home right now, so if you can build an online skill that you can repurpose and monetize, I'm going to talk about that on the next page. Find a way, just one or two, don't try to do them all or you'll lose your mind. Trust me, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. How do you want to connect with your audience? I had a goal 3 years ago to start a podcast, and guess what? I just started it now because this pandemic. I was like, oh, I have more time. I can learn a new online skill that now I can monetize, and guess what? It's helped me build my business already right away the first week I launched it. So put a plan together now that can help you build new habits and build for the future. Trying to go here. Okay, there we go. So I'll talk about the CRM in a second, but again, these are just ideas. You know, to virtual sell yourself, you got to be online. If you don't have a LinkedIn page, might be a consideration. If you don't have a Facebook fan page, or I just started a private group. Deepak and I have a free group for this opportunity as well, and we have a paid group. You can do Zoom webinars and learn how to monetize those. You make them once and they're there for life. During the recession, I worked with a life coach. We created about 33 hours of content, all recorded. It was an at-home like study course, kind of like this, just a little bit different. And I still sell it to this day. It turned into an online college course. I didn't see that coming, but I put it out there, and the universe responded and rewarded with me to be able to share it with the masses. So whatever you do now can pay you for the rest of your life. Affiliate programs. Oh my gosh, phenomenal. I have an affiliate program. I've signed up for a few different ones during this pandemic that have already started paying me. If you don't know what affiliate programs are, we will train you on that. So no matter what you do, pick one, maybe two things on this list and start learning it, start mastering it. And if you need help, we're here for you. And then of course, I put on there, get a CRM. I'm not going to do a full-on training here today because we'd be here. I talked to one guy yesterday. We probably had about a 45-minute conversation about CRMs. If you don't know what that is, you really need to learn and get one like yesterday. It's a client relationship manager. And depending on your goals, like Deepak and I, we use the CRM for VGC, and it actually helps us attract about 2 to 10 leads a day. It allows us to follow up and nurture those leads. It reminds us when we need to call people. It's basically an online system that helps you keep organized. So as you imagine, I've probably built, I don't know, probably over 5,000 connections since the recession. If I didn't have them all in my system, there's no way I could remember anything about their family, anything about their occupation, anything about their recreation or their goals in life. Again, the form is the notes that I put into my CRM so I know what's important to you. And this is step number 4. Ultimately, this could have been number 2, because once you have your mindset in place, you got to make sure, I don't care how positive you are and how amazing your systems are. If you're not a steward of your time and energy, you could waste a lot of time and waste a lot of energy. Like I know right now it's so easy to just maybe turn on the news and watch it and get sucked in for an hour or two, which I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying, is that a good, being a good steward of your time and energy? You could get sucked into Facebook. I've had that happen before. I actually take the Facebook apps off of my phone at a certain time of day so I don't accidentally just get sucked in, because it doesn't necessarily fuel me. It doesn't necessarily grow my business. It's got to be very strategic. Online selling, you got to be very strategic or you could waste a lot of time. So we're all given the same 24 hours in a day. And a lot of times I've had people say, Lois, how do you do it? How do you get so much done? And I was fortunate back when I was doing Ironman triathlons, training for that race is a full-time job. I also had a real estate sales team. I had a mortgage company. I was very active and involved in volunteering in my spiritual community at that time. So I had to compartmentalize and structure my day in such a way that my day didn't happen to me. I created my day. There's a great book I put on here, The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. And he has helped companies make hundreds of millions of dollars over the last 20 plus years with the structure of, forget about annualized goals and thinking. That's why you heard me earlier talk about I set 12-week goals instead of 12-month goals, and I get way more done in less time so that I can actually enjoy life and live life more, because I set boundaries. I say no to certain things. I'm getting better at it, not perfect. There's still shiny objects and things that come my way. But even how often do you check your email? If you're checking it once an hour, dude, you lost a lot of time and left a lot of money on the table. I encourage you to set blocks of time of what you are committed to. I lead generate for 1 to 2 hours a day. I check my email only about 60 minutes of actual focus time. If I know I'm expecting an email and I have to check it right that second, I will. But otherwise, the rest is my income producing activities. Set a goal. How many hours a day are you going to work on your business? How much time are you using for personal development? And then, because we just talked about this on the last slide, you're not going to learn how to do a podcast or a YouTube channel just by a happenstance or accident, just because you spoke it, right? You're going to have to schedule some time to really learn it and then produce the content or create. So write down right now, what new thing are you going to learn? And if you want my daily compass document, this is actually, we can add you to our free group, or if you become a paid member, you also get a free coaching session on how to use that. But really, really, really guard your time and your appointments with your own self like it's nobody's business. Like, you want to be as free from distraction and as focused as you possibly can to make sure that you get done the dollar productive activities that you say you want to get done every day. Like, if you say, I want to connect with 5 people today authentically over the phone. Jim Rohn had a saying, lead generation is a daily thing. And that's just making connections using the form technique that I shared with you earlier. He would not go to bed until he had talked to a certain number of people and set at least one appointment that day. So if he didn't do that, he said he didn't work that day, he didn't make money, and he's one of the best sales people and sales trainers of all time. Really quickly, this is the book I was telling you about. I got certified to train in this. Deepak, of course, is certified in meditation, and he has his own company called Healify. And a lot of what he does is working on the subconscious and helping you create that inner peace. That has helped me tremendously be able to apply these principles of the 12-week year. So if you get a chance, that's my referral to you today as well. Read that book. I don't know anybody who hasn't read it and hasn't had some kind of transformation. I'll tell you my quick testimonial. I got certified in this because I read it back in 2000, I think it was 14 or 15. Now it's all happened. Life is happening so fast that I can't remember, but it was 2 back-to-back 12-week years. So that's 6 months. I got more done in that 6 months than I had the previous 6 years, because even coming out of the recession, once I started having babies and life, and there's always stuff going on. Maybe you're a parent, maybe not, but maybe you're involved with your church or whatever. There's always stuff that wants to take our time, right? And so I got a little sloppy with my time schedule. And once I read that book and got all of that done, I was like, I've been just doing back-to-back 12-week years ever since and getting a lot more done. So if you want to be more productive, check that out. And then I also am training on that in our paid group every single month. So really quickly, we just want to kind of, open your mind and ask these questions. Questions are so valuable. Every day you should be asking yourself questions like, am I getting closer to my goal or am I getting further away? Reflection is critical. and measurements are critical. Are you hitting your goals? Are you getting closer? So would Helping Hand help you reach your goals? Deepak, did you want to try playing this video?
Yeah, sure,
Should we-
sure.
Okay, Deepak wanted to share a testimonial before we wrap it up here. I'll stop my share.
Sure. Just give a minute while I pull it up.
The inner transformation workshop that Deepak conducted for us at HPE was very useful. I think TechnoSpirit has done a great research on how to transform leaders identifying their inner self and transform to perform in the VUCA world. So he's taught us on how to listen not just to the sounds that we hear, but even to the signs that people kind of send signals during their communications. He spoke quite a lot on empathy. He spoke about leadership and what is required today when working in teams. He did cover the most important MTR, the mutual trust and mutual trust and respect aspect of every individual, especially when they work in a meshed organization. And he did, emphasize on not just negotiation, but how would a negotiation land in a win-win on both sides, which is very important for each one of us in today's professional world, and also on the personal side of your life, right? And finally, the 16 cap example that he took up was, I think, very, very useful. We would definitely apply that in our day-to-day professional life. And thanks to Deepak and TechnoSpirit.
Thank you. So yes, Louis, you can't unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, when you're hosting, that happens. It's all good. Cool. And I wanted Deepak to share his testimonial because what he has done over the past 20 plus years is really transformational for salespeople, entrepreneurs, and he's worked with obviously companies like Hewlett Packard. So since he's not presenting today, I just wanted to share that. So we want to close in sharing with you, how you can become a part of this program if you choose to. No pressure. We reach out with a helping hand because we know that no one succeeds alone, and we also believe with a global network, if that suits you, if you want to grow your business outside of Minnesota, if you want, like me, I want to grow my business in India. So hence, Deepak was actually a manifestation of one of my goals. So if you want to create limitless opportunities for yourself globally, that's one of our core values of what we're creating with EDC. The other thing is, we've mentioned this already, would you want someone to help you through this time with experience? And both Deepak and I have had to start over a couple different times in life, and we have learned so much also from each other. So this is who we are. This is what we're all about. We have a lot of experience both in sales and recruiting. I know Cheryl is actually one of our paid members, and we're helping her increase her recruiting this year. Bhakti's had great experiences as well in building his meditation practice. And not everyone would think of, some businesses you're just like thinking aren't sales. all businesses are sales. Everyone's selling something. Here's Mary. She's one of our paid members. She's actually had a huge transformation working with me, first one-on-one, and then she became a member in this community. She's with Juice Plus, has been for 4 years. She's got world-class leadership and training already built into her company, but she wasn't having any breakthroughs. You know, a lot of times to get something you've always wanted, you got to do something you've never done. So she hired me. She's came on board and she had a major breakthrough in her first 30 days working with me, and then coming on board. She's had a lot of personal transformation, which has translated into professional. This is Kathy. She's in our group as well. She did a 12-week one-on-one program with me first, and then has moved into our lifetime membership that we're offering to you guys today as well. And she could be in a much different space right now, but because she worked with us, her numbers have increased. Her recruits, because I also helped her recruit some top talent leaders, her recruits are skyrocketing in their business. And we spoke to her group, and they've just been doing nothing but going gangbusters during this pandemic, which seems a little bit counterintuitive. So our goals is to help you increase your income, your productivity, your time use, right? Your online selling. Grow your business through positive relationships and through global connections. So next week, we don't have a free webinar like this. We're only going to be training those who come into our paid group. I also do a standalone training on every Monday to kind of start your week off right, also in the paid group. So you're actually going to get about 3+ hours of concentrated training on all of the topics we started to talk about today. And of course, Deepak's skills and passions on top of that. He's even done guided meditations for us in the group. We're going to have different guest speakers from time to time on their specialties. You also get a free coaching session once per year. One with me, one with Deepak, unlimited email support. We have a private Facebook group, and we're going to be creating a private WhatsApp group because, again, we're global and we know most people globally use WhatsApp. Like I said, bonus coaching sessions. We also are recording all of the trainings, not only in the private Facebook group, but also into YouTube. So you're going to get private, unlisted, so nobody can find these but those who are paid members. So we have what I would call an irresistible introductory pandemic pricing for just $25 per month. And that's for the first 10 signups. So we just started doing this literally 2 weeks ago. Before we were not, doing the paid memberships as readily, but because of the pandemic and what we know we've done to help people already, and we know how people are struggling right now, we wanted to incentivize those first 10 people. So we haven't hit 10 yet. After that, it's going to be $50 American per month, which I do believe that's introductory is 1750 rupees for the first 10 months, and then, first 10 signups, and then it's going to be 3,500 rupees after that. So again, I'm just looking here for those that want to participate, limited time. I don't know how long we're going to keep this up because some people are telling us that we're crazy to do this, but for $199 one-time payment, you can get a lifetime membership, like forever. And Deepak and I aren't going anywhere. And even if something happened to one of us, we're still here. So you get it for forever. And you can even add a spouse or a business partner for free. We just have to approve that person. So it's 2 for the price of 1. You could even split it if you wanted to with a business partner. You just need to get them approved in the first 30 days, and we will add them as well. So again, if you're in India, we want to make sure we had that translation for you. On what the cost will be. You can reach out to Deepak if you're in India. You can reach out to me. This is my phone number, and pay me or pay Deepak. And of course, we like money back guarantees because, well, we just want to stand behind our word and our offering. And especially if you don't know one of us very well, we want you to know that this isn't really about the money. This is about you making a shift, making a choice, literally, that could change your life. If I had this exact program back in 2007, I would probably be already living in New Zealand by now. That's my dream, because I had to fight to find my mentors. I had to fight for my life. I had a lot of health issues, depression because of the recession. It just was so traumatic. We want you to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and get all that you need in this one program to catapult your life. It took me 5 years to really learn everything that I'm still monetizing to this day. Our hope is that you can learn everything in your first year here that will set you up for success and ultimately make your business recession proof for forever. So anybody have any questions about anything that I coached upon today? Anything about our program? I did go longer than I anticipated. I guess I was feeling really passionate. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of it. If you want to come off mute or send a private message. Oh, can you mute yours? Okay. Bhakti, did you want to say something?
No, I just have to go. I just appreciate so much what you're doing, and it's been a great thing for me and anyone else and others that I know that have worked with you.
Thank you so much, Bhakti, for trusting us over the last few months. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, Bhakti was one of our early adopters, so it's an honor to have you on here today. Did anybody else have any other questions?
I'm Pohaku Sailesh. I'm Sailesh.
Yes.
I don't have a question, but I just want to share that earlier I used to have a vision board on my paper. You can see my vision board. This is my vision board.
Wow.
And I just brought that one into my mobile again. I placed
Awesome.
all my vision boards and I brought into my mobile. And I'm planning all my goals in vision board.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
In my bedroom, there is a big chart of this. This is just a paper, A4 paper. But in my bedroom, at the back of my bed, there is a big chart of my vision board.
Wow.
I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and that's super important. 100%. You hit the nail on the head. Your vision and looking at it daily, or even writing it out. I didn't talk about all that because there's only so much time, but I always talk about writing your vision out. And if you can even record your vision, your ideal life, where you see yourself. That's what I did with my California dream, and the vision board was great. But hearing me speak, I am so happy and grateful that I'm living in Southern California with my family, with a gorgeous, backyard and a lot of space, which is exactly what we got. That's powerful stuff. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, if there's no other questions, if you even just want to share one thing that you got out of today's training, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that would be great. Maybe one takeaway from today's training.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes.
Well, Lois, one thing I appreciate is always good to hear reinforcement of things like SMART goals, because I always work with those as well. Form was a new thing for me to have it spelled out that way. And being a Mopar fan, I can't use Ford, so I have to use form. That's true.
I love that. Yes, that's another reason I put form. I had another guy who said, found on road dead. I'm not going to remember that.
So I appreciate your time. I actually need to run to my next appointment, but I will reach out to you later. Thank you. And nice to meet you as well, Deepak, and everybody else. Thank you.
Alice.
Have a great day.
Appreciate it.
Alice is one of our senior director consultants, area directors for BNI Minnesota. So Deepak used to be a director. I guess he is still a director for India.
Raja, anything you want to add? Or any takeaway from your side?
Yeah, it's a really great session which we have received today. And the writing goals in a daily, it's a really good thing which we were not doing here in India, but yes, we're supposed to be do. as we have know this thing from you, Deepak sir, also same thing. And I would like to be a part for more on communications also too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll call you back after the session. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Awesome. Wonderful. New or Andy, do you guys want to share anything? No pressure. You don't have to.
Yeah, I want to share one thing. I like the 12-week planning. Is that considered short-term or long-term, or is that not considered either of the two?
Well, the cool thing is technically it's short-term. However, if you really have structure and you really are focused and don't have too many distractions, you can get way more done than the average person gets done in a year. And I would say a lot of people see 1 year as a long-term goal. So that's the beauty of it, is I believe it can be considered long-term. And I think even just releasing that idea altogether of short-term and long-term and just saying, you know what, this is the time that I've chosen to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going for it. I hope that was helpful. Andy?
Yes, thank you.
Well, actually, it was a very good presentation. Some of those points just presented, I saw at college. So a few of them I implemented in our company. Not very detailed, like you try to inform us to try and do it, but as a company owner, we have to do so much things.
Oh yeah.
I think that the smallest implementation of those things have a great impact on how stuff works. So I'm quite happy that the things you just said that I implemented maybe on a small scale, but I do it in our company. So
That's awesome.
quite nice to know that I'm doing kind of right.
It's all good. It's all perfect. And by all means, you know, if in the future, Andy, or even now, if you see any value in what we can create and help you, because our goal is to be kind of like almost like your personal assistant in helping you accomplish more with all the tools that we provide. So definitely keep that in the back of your mind.
Will do.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well,
so for all our viewers on Facebook Live, because this is also going on Facebook Live in the page that we manage. Thank you so much for joining in. There were a few viewers watching it. So thank you so much for joining in. And with that, I'm first going to cut the live stream, and then we will go ahead. So thank you, and we look forward to see you soon back on our group as well as on Facebook.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a beautiful day or evening.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
And Deepak, I'll call you on WhatsApp. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.